You know, one of the ways that I try to explain it is the Hourglass Project isn't about creating an empire. It's not an organization that's going to just overarch and kind of take over all of the economic development for the region. But it's really built more on kind of the philosophy of network capacity, that we have an amazing network of folks throughout the region that are working on these things, you know, in their communities. So I would say the Coalition of Chambers is a really great example of a plug-in to the Hourglass Project. So, you know, I don't know, even 6 months ago, the Coalition of Chambers didn't exist in the way that it does now. But it was this greater conversation about regionalism and working together and trying to have more of a regional mindset about our challenges, that the chambers coalesced around the same region, you know, we're defining at the Hourglass Project, and are starting to work together in a broader coalition. So it's how do we plug into and drive, you know, the region together. Another analogy I use about how I kind of look at our economic development efforts kind of historically as a region, I would say we're kind of at the 6-year-old soccer level. So how many of you have ever seen 6-year-olds play soccer?
Greatest soccer ever.
Right, so it's just balls swarming at best, and maybe going in the right direction, maybe not. There's a game, and there's activity, and there's players on the field, but it's, you know, kind of more cute than it is, you know, about competition. And so the idea is, we've got the players on the field, we just have to organize and find a way to work together towards a strategic goal and start calling some plays and developing, you know, strengthening our positions on the team so that we get more balls in the right goal, right? So it's about working with, and there's many, many other examples. The coalition is a really strong one.
You're not doing the same thing I'm doing or Santa Maria's doing or some other organization is doing. You see yours as kind of a different level and working through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would see it, you know, you could think of it as kind of concentric circles. So you can have, you know, in the outer layer, you have the Hourglass Project, and then you kind of go in by geography, and it's maybe the Econ Alliance is an organization that serves northern Santa Barbara County, and then the Economic Vitality Corporation serves the county of San Luis Obispo, and then, you know, you go in from there, and each of the chambers are working within their individual communities, and so it's trying to, you know, tie all those efforts up. And so I would say the Hourglass Project is kind of functioning at, you know, higher geographic level, and we're trying to, you know, speak to audiences outside of just our region, right? We're trying to advocate for a region of 500,000 people to the state government and the federal government and private enterprise, and with the military installations we have on our coast, at times potentially the Department of Defense, and really trying to showcase the assets that we have and try to attract the type of investments and job creation that we want, but doing that in partnership all the way down. Another example I would use of that, just practically, for those of you who are familiar with how the tourism industry works, right? You have local T-bids that are happening within the city jurisdiction, and then you have Visit SlowCal, who's working on promoting, you know, the county, and that functions up to a higher level within, you know, Visit California is promoting tourism for the state. So there's many models in which, you know, these types of organizations are set up. I'd probably even add, there are many models of successful regional economic development organizations throughout the country that we've modeled after to say we don't have something like that in our region functioning at this certain level. So it was a gap that we were trying to fill to tie in all of the efforts that are happening now.